It was April 29th. He was cut on an Oliver. He was over disking, and it was late, and my mother walked over a mile back there, I guess. She walked back across the fields, carried me with her, and he had put me on the tractor, got me out of the field, and had just set me down off the tractor while he crossed the creek, and the tractor flipped over. He had just crossed the creek and was headed up a grade pulling a disc, and the disc caught on something. It was gasoline was running out everywhere, and that caught on fire at one point. He was down in the creek. Yeah, there was water in the creek, and the tractor on fire, and on top of him, it was an old Oliver tractor that the drawbar ran over the back axle instead of under it. The newer tractors after that, and the drawbar runs up underneath the rear axle and connects up just past the midway point on the tractor. So when you're under a heavy pull, it's actually pulling the front end down somewhat. I mean, you can still flip one over awful easy, but that one, the drawbar was real short, didn't run up on the front part of the tractor, and ran up, connected up over the back axle. So when you pulled something, it would just flip the tractor. There wasn't any such thing as ROPS back then. That was in 1959, and the cars didn't even have seatbelts. We had one tractor left on the farm, an old farm all age. My brothers, we were 2, 7, and 10. And, we helped with the hogs, we helped with, everything at the barn we could, but there just wasn't a whole lot you could do in terms of, we weren't able to put out a crop at that age. Neighbors came in and helped a lot. Anybody that hadn't grown up in that kind of community cannot imagine what it was really like. We went from living pretty well to just barely making it. My brother and I were talking about this the other day, that we can't even imagine when our kids were like 8 and 9 years old, sending them out in the woods by themselves with a .22 rifle. But, that's what we were doing. I remember lots of times my mother telling us, if you want anything to eat with the gravy tonight, you need to get out there and get some. I mean, we'd sell turkeys and chickens dressed out. We lost all income. Of course, there was no insurance or anything like that. There was debt on the farm, still had to be paid. But he had done some things like bought some farm equipment, truck to haul livestock and stuff in, like a 2-ton truck. And some things like that, and almost all that had to be sold. And the farm itself wasn't in debt, but there was debt from, equipment and stuff, and we had to get rid of all that. Of course, the farm had been in the family so long that my father's family was really concerned that my mother would try to sell the farm, and they didn't want the farm to be sold. My mother claims she never even thought about selling it. I don't know whether she did or not, but anyway, it was just really tight there for a long time. So my mother finally remarried later on, and stepfather farmed the farm then.